My wife and I were returning from San Antonio, Texas on a Sunday night sometime around May or June. My wife had fallen asleep, so I turned up the radio and drove south, taking I-35 into Laredo. As we approached the north side of town, I turned the cruise control off and dropped down from 65 to 60 to better negotiate the curve under the railroad bridge that crossed the interstate. I was in the right-hand lane as I came close to the bridge. That's when I spotted what at first looked like a homeless guy, completely naked, scuttling along the embankment of the road. He was skinny, pale-skinned, and his arms looked emaciated. As I passed him, I had a creepy feeling that something about this person was all wrong. The way he moved, as well as the way his arms and legs were more animalistic than human. With 26 years in law enforcement, I thought about stopping and going back to see what this guy was doing. However, with my wife along and it was close to midnight, I kept going, figuring the guy was just drunk. I told my wife about what I had seen when we arrived at our home. She thought it sounded like some drunken guy living under the bridge. The creature was paralleling the road, so I never saw its face or the eyes, but the body shape was as close to the drawings as I care to get. Every time I approach that railroad bridge now, I slow down and take a second look, but so far I've only ever seen it the one time. So I'm laying on the trampoline, and other than the moon, there isn't any light aside from the porch light, which is a ways behind me. All of a sudden, I vaguely see something move. It's coming from the lot across the dirt road, and it's coming towards me. We had a Boston Terrier at the time, and I figured it was him. But as it got closer, I knew that's not what it was. It was sickly pale. It walked on all fours with its hands, but seemed to be able to walk upright. It's kind of galloping towards me on all fours and in a little bit of ways at this point, but keeps getting closer. The light bounced off its skin and it almost seemed to look wet. Its gait and color looked pretty clear to me, but I don't remember anything distinct about its face, except that it just seems to be whitewashed to me. It's happening so fast, and now it is right near me and still running, and then I can't see it. It's under the trampoline. And then I feel it. I feel it push up on the trampoline. I didn't even bother to look back as I ran to the house. I don't remember my thought process at all past that point, but my mom has told me that I came into the house hollering and absolutely terrified. I've thought about this consistently over the years, and as I've gotten older, have seen stories of similar creatures. I used to describe it as looking like Gollum from Lord of the Rings. I think of the creature kind of fondly in a way. It would have never occurred to me at the time, but it almost had a playful vibe to it, and it makes me sad to think that maybe it's just some lonely but semi-intelligent creature, maybe a grotesque experiment, or some off-kilter evolutionary line. I don't think that's impossible. I guess I like to let my imagination run wild with it, though. I will always be curious about this.